Okay, let me ask you this. How do you say something is about to happen? Especially when you need to sound, a bit more formal or maybe more insightful, even dramatic.
Yeah, it's easy to just fall back on simple stuff like soon or it's likely.
Right. But when you're aiming for that more advanced English, you really need the right nuance, the right word for the right situation.
Absolutely. Think about high stakes situations, a debate, maybe a formal presentation, even just important emails, using the precise phrase we're talking about today. That can make you sound not just competent, but genuinely fluent.
That's exactly what we're doing today. We're diving into this great lesson plan someone shared with us. It breaks down 4 really useful, sophisticated expressions for talking about things that are, well, just around the corner.
Yeah, the four key ones we pulled out are imminent, on the cards, on the brink of, and on the verge of.
Hmm.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that, yeah, they all broadly mean likely to happen soon, but the feel is totally different.
The context, the tone.
Exactly. And getting that right is, well, crucial if you're moving beyond intermediate level. Understanding the structure, the feeling, that's key.
Okay, then, let's unpack this. Where should we start? Maybe with the most formal one.
Yeah, let's do that. Imminent. It sounds formal, doesn't it?
It really does. I have to admit, when I first came across it, I kind of mentally filed it under important or something.
Uh-huh.
But the analysis we looked at really highlights that the core meaning is about certainty.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that is certain, or at least very, very likely to happen very soon. Formal, serious tone.
And structurally, it's pretty straightforward. It's an adjective. So
Yeah.
you see it typically in two ways, either right before a noun, like an imminent announcement,
Yeah.
or used with is or seems. The collapse is imminent. It really suggests the wheels are already turning.
Yeah, like it's almost guaranteed and it's close.
Exactly. If you're watching the news and say negotiations have totally failed,
Uh-huh.
the reporter might say a strike seems imminent. It leaves very little room for doubt.
It definitely carries more weight than just saying a strike is likely.
Oh, much more. It's got this sort of authoritative certainty.
Okay. So that's imminent. Formal, certain, coming soon. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's maybe shift gears quite a bit, something less formal.
Yeah, let's talk about on the cards. This one feels much more predictive, maybe a bit more conversational.
On the cards. It means likely to happen,
Right.
but less definite than imminent.
Exactly. It suggests a strong possibility, something people are anticipating or maybe even planning, but it's not a done deal.
And here's something really important for you listening.
Hmm.
Our sources pointed out this is primarily British English.
That's a really key point. Americans will understand it for sure.
Yeah.
But if you use it stateside, it might sound a little, I don't know, like you've been watching British TV shows, or just slightly unusual.
It's good to know that regional difference.
And, thinking about where it comes from might help. On the cards, it probably relates to fortune telling, right?
Oh, like tarot cards or playing cards?
Yeah, exactly. If something's on the cards, it's predicted, it's in the forecast, but it's not like set in stone by some official decree.
Ah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It explains that predictive but not totally certain feel.
Right. And the structure is always X is on the cards.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
So you could say a merger is on the cards for next year.
Perfect. Or you hear it in questions too about personal stuff like, is a promotion on the cards for you? It's a nice way to ask about expected changes without being too direct.
Great. Okay, so we have imminent and on the cards. Before we tackle the last two, just a quick message for everyone listening.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really working on leveling up your English, we wanted to give a shout out to a resource we think is really helpful. Check out the YouTube channel, Daily Colloquial English.
Yeah, good one.
If you find their stuff useful and we think you might, please do give their videos a like, subscribe to the channel, maybe share it with friends who are also learning. We love highlighting resources that help learners, kind of like what we're trying to do here.
Definitely worth checking out.
Okay, so back to our list. The final pair, on the brink of and on the verge of. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Yeah, because they seem similar, right? Both mean extremely close to something.
Exactly. And they even share the same basic structure on the something of plus a noun or on the something of plus an ing verb, a gerund.
Right. But the implication,
Yeah.
that's where they differ quite a lot. Let's start with on the brink of.
Okay.
What we found is this one is almost always used for pretty dramatic situations, often negative.
Right. It feels heavy, like something big is about to happen, usually something bad.
Yeah, it implies crisis, large-scale events. Think,
Like the examples we saw.
exactly, high-stakes stuff. You hear it with, like, geopolitics, the country's on the brink of war,
Oof. Yeah.
or talking about huge global problems. Scientists warn we are on the brink of environmental disaster. It really paints a picture of being right on the edge of a cliff, you know?
Definitely. Or even in, say, a business context. It implies something really serious, like failure.
Right. The project was on the brink of failure before they got that last-minute funding. It signals major trouble.
Okay, so brink is for war, disaster, major crisis,
Right.
usually negative, usually large scale. So then how is on the verge of different? Because that distinction is super important.
It really is. On the verge of also means extremely close to something happening or being experienced, but
Right.
it's much more versatile.
Versatile how?
Well, it can be used for negative things, like the washing machine is on the verge of breaking down,
Okay.
but it's much, much more common for more personal things, immediate actions, or emotional states.
Ah, okay. So brink is often sort of macro level, big picture negative stuff, whereas verge can be more micro, more personal,
Yeah.
and it could be positive too.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Verge captures that moment right before something happens, especially personally. Think about emotion. She was on the verge of tears.
But you'd never say she was on the brink of tears. That sounds weird.
It would sound completely over the top. Melodramatic.
Yeah.
Or think about actions. A team could be on the verge of winning the championship. That's positive. You wouldn't use brink there.
No, definitely not. Okay, that makes the difference much clearer. Brink for crisis, verge for that immediate edge of an action or an emotion, personal or otherwise.
Right. Like if someone's really angry, about to lose it, he was on the verge of shouting. It describes being right at that point.
Got it. That's super helpful. Okay, so let's just quickly pull those together. We have imminent for formal certainty,
Mm-hmm.
on the cards for likely predictions, especially in British English,
Right.
on the brink of for dramatic large-scale crises,
Usually negative.
and on the verge of for being extremely close to an action or an emotional state, which could be positive or negative.
Perfect summary. Now the real test is using them, right?
Yeah, let's try those practice scenarios we pulled out. Okay, listeners, try and think which phrase fits best before we say it. Ready? Scenario 1. A volcano has been rumbling, shaking, spitting out ash and gas for days. What phrase fits?
Think about the certainty, the seriousness.
I can actually see two possibilities here, depending on how you frame it.
Go on.
Well, you could definitely say an eruption is imminent, because it sounds like it's pretty certain and it's a serious event, so the formal word fits.
True. What's the other option?
You could also use the crisis language. The volcano is on the brink of erupting, because it's a potential disaster.
Absolutely. Both work perfectly, highlighting either the certainty or the critical nature of it.
Good one.
Okay.
Scenario 2. Your friend is telling you something really sad. You can see their eyes getting watery.
Okay, this feels different. It's personal, emotional. She's on the verge of tears.
Exactly. That immediate personal emotional state points straight to verge. Perfect.
All right, last one. Scenario 3, election time. The polls show one party way ahead. Everyone expects them to win easily.
Okay, so this is about expectation, likelihood,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily a crisis and maybe not formal enough for imminent in casual chat.
Right. So a new government is on the cards. Spot on. It's predictive, semi-formal, based on strong likelihood. On the cards fits perfectly.
Great. So thinking about the bigger picture here, why does mastering these actually matter?
Well, the thing is, it really boosts how fluent and sophisticated your English sounds. You know, if you're doing something like an IELTS test or giving a presentation or even writing an important essay, using imminent when something is certain or brink for a disaster or verge for that immediate personal moment, it shows you really understand the tone and the intensity. Simple words just can't convey that as effectively.
It's about precision, isn't it? Choosing the exact right word to convey not just the fact that something is happening soon, but the feeling around it. Formal, predictive, dramatic, emotional.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was our deep dive into imminent, on the cards, on the brink of, and on the verge of. Hopefully that's given you some really useful nuggets of knowledge to take away.
Yeah, hopefully. And remember, the key now is actually using them. The lesson plan we looked at had a great homework suggestion. Try writing your own sentences using all four. But here's something else to think about, sort of a final thought for you to mull over. Think about your own life right now. Your job, maybe a personal goal you're working towards, a big project perhaps.
Yeah.
How could you describe what's coming up using these phrases? What success or challenge is imminent? What opportunity is on the cards? Are you personally on the verge of achieving something, or maybe feeling on the brink of being overwhelmed by a deadline? Apply it to yourself.
That's a great exercise.
And one more thing. Start noticing these words when you read or listen to the news. When they talk about the economy or politics or even sports, which word do they choose? Did they say a deal was imminent or just on the cards? Why? Analyzing how native speakers use them in context is probably the best way to really get a feel for the nuances. Start listening for them today.